Okay, so a very key component of the tidyverse is this symbol here, and you get it by going Control-Shift-M. Okay, it's called the pipe, and what it means is it's saying take this object and do something with it. So in our case here, maybe we might want to do an object like this, which is head. Okay, so that takes by default the top 6 items in a data frame. We can specify how many rows by going like 4, like there. Yep. We've also got tail, and that's taking the bottom rows. So what's happening here? So we could also, to illustrate, this function, the arguments of it, tail, so it's x is the object and ... is, in this case here, the only argument it takes, which is the number of rows to take. But we could run this. So the first argument is the data, the second argument is the number of rows, but when we did it with the pipe, so y, Control-Shift-M, and then head 4, what happens is that it's using whatever's above, whatever's before the pipe as the first argument to the next function. Okay. One key thing to know is that you can, if the first argument is not the data, let's try and find. Well, no. Let's just quickly. What was it again? Tail x equals. So we can go x equals y. This should. Let's change it just to keep things simple and not confusing. So k is now the data. So we can go k. Okay, k. So x equals. This should work. Yes. All right. So in this case here, we're only running this one line, but the data argument is x, and we're giving that the value of the k, which is the data frame, tibble. So what we could do instead is we can use a dot as well to represent what's above it. So that also works. So the dot is saying that thing above us, put that here instead of being the first argument. In this case here, it is the first argument. So I think I'll circle back to this and it might become clearer. All right. But in this case here, that's totally fine to run it like that. Another key thing is that whenever you're running, piped code, piped chunks even, you often get it formatted in a non-ideal way. So if you select the lines and press Control-I, it will indent it correctly, which is really, really handy. Okay, so yeah, so that is the head and tail function. There's also the select function. So if you want to select only one month, only the month column, that's that way. If we wanted to select sales, just like that. Okay. If we wanted to select not a column, so everything else, we go negative. So negative months will just give us sales, and negative sales will just give us month. Okay. So what that has done is it has produced, and we can even test this, it's produced a data frame, a tibble, and a tibble data frame. So that's what it has produced, even though it is only one column of data. So the key thing is that we can go pull now, and notice how it's swapped from being like a table to being like a vector. Okay, because that's what pull does, is it pulls out the column if there's only one column and turns it into a vector. Forget about that. If we comment out that line and try to pull k, what do we get? So, all right. So it's got all of k. K is 2. Yeah. So it seems to, for some reason, have pulled out the last column, but we might just specify, month. And now it's pulling out the month column as a vector. So pull is a very important argument. What else? So we had head and tail before, But if we want to get specific about the lines that we want, if we want the second line, so February, there we go. If we want the second and third line, like that. If we want specific, so the second and April, we can do this. Okay, so there, that's the slice function. So that pulls out individual rows. We can also do the negative, so everything but February and April, like that. Very nifty indeed. Select, slice, and pull, and also aligning code. So that's a whole heap of really critical functions to know. Let's make another video.